everybody. Hello. Oh, I'm not wearing a hat. Oh, well.
Want me to get you one?
No. There's presents in the closet. They would all fall out. Okay?
There's that many.
The kids are watching.
No, but I just threw them in there. Anyhow, I'm Tom Vassell.
Z Garcia, what's up?
Sam Healy. Hello, everyone.
And today we will be answering your questions live. So if you have questions, go ahead and type them in the YouTube comments. We will. I was about to say we may not. But we will not answer all the questions just because. We're going to pick questions that are interesting. I'm going to head things off here a little bit. We're not going to answer any questions about Asmodee, Fantasy Flight, and all that because I don't know enough information about it to be able to give any kind of good answers. Like, do I think it's a bad thing? Do I think it's a good thing? I'll go into that more depth next week. We'll talk some more about that. But I don't know all the ins and outs. I don't think they've even announced all the ins and outs.
Right.
We won't even know probably the whole thing till March.
Yep.
So anyhow, we'll get to questions here. Let's see. That's only half a question. No, we only start from when we start the show.
Oh.
If you ask questions early, tough luck. I'll say that if you ask, like, what do you think of this game? If we've done a review on it, you can check out the review. If we haven't done a review on it, we will.
Don't ask that question is basically what you're saying?
Yeah, probably pretty much. All right, let's see. Merry Christmas from Scotland.
Merry Christmas.
All right, how do you guys feel about house ruling games? These guys start Ticket to Ride with 6 train cards just to skip the first drawing.
That's interesting.
Although, I have played Ticket to Ride games where I did not draw on the first turn.
Yeah, I have as well. I feel that if I need to house rule a game, the designer should have done that work for me. And I dislike that game just a little bit more already.
Really?
Yeah.
There's no game that you really like that you have a house rule for?
I've done it, but I really...
Like Carcassonne. I always play where you draw the tile at the...
Draw like
at the
draw
end of your turn.
So you can look
I
ahead.
think everyone does that.
That doesn't change the game whatsoever, does it?
But it is a house rule.
Yeah, I guess, technically. That one's okay.
Yeah, the way the rules state, I believe, is at the beginning of your turn,
draw,
you draw,
play. Yeah.
So, I don't know.
If it doesn't affect the game whatsoever, and that's rare. Most house rules affect the game somehow. You're trying to fix something.
Yeah, I don't mind house rules specifically. I mind house rules that are necessary to fix a problem in the game.
Right. That's when I have an issue because, hey, this is a problem you should have dealt with. I don't want to design your game for you.
Correct.
If it's a non-issue like a tiny house rule, yeah, sure. I don't care.
What are the best expansions to get for Seven Wonders?
I like Leaders still the best.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the newest one.
Babel?
This is Babel. I really like that one.
It's the only one I own, so I guess I'll have to go with that
There you
one
go.
as well.
2-1.
I'll go with the Brussels Wonder. The peeing boy.
The wonder that you... Yeah.
No, Babel for me. Especially since it has 2 very different...
like 2 different modules in it.
It is. All right, I'm going to ask the next question, then I'm going to go plug in the camera. I just realized it's not plugged in. All right.
Auto
power off!
You better
Go!
hurry up.
Run!
Go!
Run!
Go right
Okay, we don't hear you guys talk much about Arkham or Eldritch Horror anymore.
go.
Are they not as
Fly,
good?
you fools!
Go!
Okay.
You better hurry up.
Okay, it says, we don't hear you guys
Touch the
talk
screen.
much about Arkham or Eldritch Horror anymore. Are they not as good as they used to be?
Okay, we're good. Okay. Arkham or Eldritch?
Yes.
Well, Eldritch I think is as good as it's ever been, which is to say, not at all.
Wow.
No,
Clearly not a question for you.
it's very simple. They're long games.
Yes.
And we just don't get long games at the table as much. I still like Eldritch. I still like Arkham. I just don't know that I'll ever play Arkham with Eldritch around. But even Eldritch, we're behind like 2 expansions, I think. And you said you haven't even played with any of the expansions.
No, I haven't.
And so...
Well, they've been pumping them out. They really kind of pulled a reset on Arkham to a certain degree.
All right.
They're like, okay, there's a lot of expansions. We're going to go back to the core set. And guess what? More expansions! Boom, boom, boom. They start pumping them out. So it's hard to keep up with any game that's that big.
True.
Any plans for New Year's Eve? What are you doing New
I don't know what
Year's?
I'm doing New Year's Eve.
I'm shooting off fireworks like there's no tomorrow.
I'm not doing that. Hanging out with my family.
Having a fellowship
I
at
guess.
the church, yeah, that's about it.
And I'm shooting off fireworks. My whole garage is full of them.
You already said that.
It's full of games and fireworks.
Exactly.
Not a good combination.
I'm just gonna go throw some lighters in there and see what happens.
No.
All right. Do you ever read comments from older videos and reviews on YouTube?
Yes.
I do. I actually have you can set a link up to, when you go to when you're on the YouTube channel, you can look at all the comments. So it shows you the comments, whatever video they're on.
Right.
So I do. We don't respond to all the comments. I already explained why in a Board Game Breakfast, but I do read almost everything. What's your most disappointing game of the year? You'll find out tomorrow. We're doing a 2015 an overview, and we specifically talked about that one, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did. All right. Okay, David Gonzalez, you are asking partial questions, and so I'm not. You need to ask the whole thing in one sentence, because I'm not getting what your questions are. Okay, what percentage of games do you rate a 10?
I think I have about 15 or 20 10s out of maybe 1,000 games rated or so. So
That's 1%. 1 to 2%.
maybe I'd have to go back and look.
Mine is smaller than that,
Yeah.
because for a while I said my top 10 games were my 10s.
Yeah.
But it might be like my top 20 now, but that's still
Right.
still.
No, that's
Out of-
probably a good percentage. I mean, it's supposed to be the cream of the crop, right?
Right.
So 1% of the games that you have rated should be 10s?
I mean, I don't know,
should not
maybe
be.
more. I don't know, but it's not a very high percentage. But I also, on the flip side of that, only have a handful of games rated something like a 1 or a 2. It's a very small amount.
Right.
You know, most of my ratings end up falling between 8 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, same here. Well, I have a decent amount of 5s these days.
right?
But like you're right, 1, 2s hardly ever. If I give a game a 1 or 2, I want to pile drive that game into the ground.
No, I don't want to pile drive it. I just really dislike it.
I want to pile drive it.
I want to put it in Tom's garage and hope that it burns.
Okay, thanks. All right, what part of the holiday period do you guys particularly look forward to? It used to be the first day of no school.
Yes.
It used to be today.
Yeah, that's right. Today is the first day that the kids are out. Yeah.
You'd get there, you'd be like, yes! Nowadays, for me, it's a tie. It's Christmas Eve / New Year's Eve. I like them both.
Yeah. Same here.
I guess I like. I think the older I get, the more that it's Christmas Eve versus the turn of the year. That one's less like, I'm going to go to bed now. You know
No,
what I mean?
I got that, and I would agree with you, except for the fireworks.
Again, the theme of
This
today's
cat-
Q&A.
This cat goes out.
Fireworks. Any day of the year, if you're eating food, you shoot off fireworks with it.
I do it once a year, and my wife said I can't do it twice. All
Oh,
right, who would win arm wrestling between the three of you? I'm going to go with Sam.
probably.
I don't know.
Sam.
See, the fact that he says I don't know, you know he's got it.
No, I don't know.
I feel like you played an arm wrestling match in the past year against somebody for some reason. Did you?
I
It
did
was
just.
at youth camp at PCC.
I did just rewatch over the top.
That's right, and you won. Yeah, I saw him play arm wrestling. Yeah, he crushed the other guy.
I did not crush
The
him.
other guy
I
like,
did
was
just
crying.
rewatch. Like I said, I just rewatched over the top though, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I can do that thing.
Got that thing? Yeah.
I might get you.
I know how to counteract that, though.
Oh no!
Poke you in the eye.
Ooh!
What is the best way to punch your tokens out to avoid damage? From the front or the back?
The drill bit.
I think it's the back, right?
I don't know. There's the side that got punched. I punched towards. I punched the same way that the
The side
machine,
that's flat
Yeah.
is the side I
towards
punch
it.
through.
I don't. I do the reverse
Why?
because I think it's cleaner. If you punch the other way, you might actually lift the paper finish from the cardboard. I
Yeah.
continue the punch from the machine,
Yeah.
But sometimes
the way
that
it should
rips
be
when you do
done.
it that way.
but much
But
less
you can
likely.
clean it up, though.
Yeah, you rip the extra versus if you punch the
token-
other way, you might rip into the token.
Right. That's what he's saying. You could act if you punch through from the flat side, you could actually rip away the paper from the token.
Okay, I'll buy that, but honestly, you shouldn't be doing that at all. We shouldn't have to do it at all. I like the games when you pick them up, the counters are like falling out.
Well, you still got to punch some of them sometimes.
Yeah, but then I don't care. When they're that loose, it's like...
They'll just
Yeah.
fall, yeah.
What would you like to see added to Champions of Midgard when it gets the inevitable first expansion? I don't know about these guys, but for me, with an expansion, I never look for new stuff usually. I always think, ooh, more of the same. Give me some more monsters, give me some more trolls, give me some more building spots on the board, and I'm happy. I don't... More gold cards, especially. I think the game needs more gold cards. But
Viking Meeples would be cool.
are they not Viking now?
Well, maybe it was part of a Kickstarter, but in the core box that I have, it's just regular Meeples. They're not Viking Meeples. Viking Meeples would be better. Would have been better.
All right, let's see here. What is your suggestion for a 5-player group we are so we can play all these great 4-player only games? Are we doomed? Well, you mentioned Time Stories here. Specifically with Time Stories, I saw 5 people play this at Board Game Geek and 2 people just shared one character.
Really?
Yeah, well, they were just like making decisions. It was like
giant kind of thing. I guess
yeah,
that's okay.
I mean that's okay. Honestly, you're kind of
There's a lot of good 5-player games these days. Though.
There's also a lot of 5-player games that play very slowly when you play the 5th player.
See, I don't see 5 as a problem area anymore.
I'm not saying it's a problem area.
I think
I'm
4,
just
I know
saying-
4 has always been traditionally like the easiest way to get a game played with 4 players. I think 5, maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like it's becoming much.
But that's not what he's asking.
easier.
He's saying if they have 5 players, there's a lot of good games that are only 4.
Yeah.
What do you do then?
You just draw straws and kick that last person out.
Or get 3 more people.
That's harder.
Sam, are you coming to Essen?
Apparently,
Yeah, baby!
All right.
We dropping that Deutsch.
Tom prefers Armada over X-Wing. What does Sam think?
it depends on the mood that I'm in. Sometimes I want to be in my own fighter and shooting stuff down. Other times, I want to control an entire, squadron of stuff in the capital ships. It just depends on the mood that I'm in. As far as style, I think I'm probably leaning towards Armada. I like it just seems like a cleaner system. And I'll probably explain why in a future review of a different game.
Interesting.
That's very, okay.
Ooh, that left us all like, oh.
So curious.
All right. Will we do a video of Jason's collection eventually? I went to his house, but I forgot to bring the video camera.
You put some pictures up on
I did put some pictures up.
Instagram or
It looked
something like
like
that?
a store because almost everything was in
I
shrink wrap.
know, it's great. And there's multiple copies of stuff.
And the same thing, sometime we'll do a behind the scenes video of what we do, but honestly, it's not super exciting.
Those are going to be really boring
Click,
videos that
click,
I'm sitting
click,
here
click.
like, oh, I got to edit this. Okay.
Has Blood Rage replaced Nexus Ops?
Why would it replace Nexus Ops?
I don't even see them in the same bucket, frankly.
I don't either. I mean, do I play Blood Rage more than Nexus Ops? Yes. But I don't think it would replace Nexus Ops.
I think I do see them in the same bucket, but I think they're different enough that they can coexist. I think the people out there that love the dice chucking in that aspect of a fighting game are going to still like Nexus Ops. And
It wasn't me this time.
it wasn't Sam this time. But Blood Rage is just more Euro-y. It's got the drafting, it's got the simultaneous card play for deciding combat, and Nexus Ops is going to let you chuck a bunch of dice. They won't replace that feeling of, boom, look at that great roll in Blood Rage. You play both. I like both a lot.
Sam, what was your favorite food when you lived in Germany? I know Z's is currywurst.
Well, bratwurst is probably my favorite. I wasn't so keen on sauerkraut back then as I am now, so maybe that's something. Strangely enough, Germany is where I got introduced to Hawaiian pizza, where it
sense.
has the Canadian bacon and the pineapples added on. At the same restaurant, we would get
Cuban sandwich.
no,
Chinese food.
no
Kimchi.
escargot. Escargot is where I first got introduced to. Germany is where I first got introduced to escargot. So those
Which
are
is
two.
French garbage, I believe. What is
No.
escargot?
Snails.
Yeah, that's French
And
like
butter
throwaway
sauce.
food, right? I mean,
I was at some
Throw it away.
I was at some
It's actually
cheapo
pretty
store the other day
good.
that had like escargot and like a
Put it on a
can.
cracker. It's really good. You can actually just eat it by yourself too. It's not bad.
It's okay, I guess. All right.
yeah. Oh,
Anyhow,
cracker.
Philip says convince Coolmany about minis for Sam and D. Z.
Salmon Z.
Sam and Z. All right, we'll work on that.
Yeah,
that
we'll
would
try.
be that would be
That would
awesome.
be very cool.
That'd be cool. Do you think because there was so much crossover between the three of you in 2015, this indicates that your tastes are narrowing and reducing the potential breadth of the Dice Tower audience? Apparently, you did not watch our top 10 surprises.
Really.
I think part of it is, honestly, because some of the top 10 we did were literally some of the best games that came out over the course of the year.
Yeah, no, it's just like one of those years that there were a lot of good games this year, but there were a few that were clear standouts. And even though I think we have pretty differing tastes, some of the games we picked are just games that breach all of our, individual styles.
There were some like Blood Rage. That's clearly a hybrid.
Right.
That would appeal to more than just one specific camp of gamers.
Right.
So there's stuff like that
Yeah.
have come out this year that have just kind of blown the doors open.
I think if you
think
go
so.
to the very, very top of what we liked over the year, you might see some of that crossover, but the farther away you get from the best of the year, the more you'll realize that our tastes really are like, they go all over the place.
Right,
There's
right.
a lot of games I like that these guys wouldn't care for because they're my type of thing. And
But you
vice
also
versa.
find that a lot of the things that we pick for our top 10 are going to be crossovers in other people's top 10s. You watch as you're going to see more and more top 10s released, and you're going to see a lot of Blood Rage, Time Stories, Pandemic.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. And I mean, there's going to be people who don't like those games, but
True.
if you play them and like them, they're going to hit your top 10 probably.
Right.
What small world expansion is your favorite and why? Do you think any expansion's imbalanced?
Unbalanced.
My favorite's the one that comes with werewolves because they're my favorite race.
Gee, I don't know what my
But I
favorite
don't-
one is.
To me, they're all the same. Other than that,
They came out with so many of them.
I can say my least favorite one.
None of them stand out from the others. For me, it just looks like it was a lot of things that they segmented.
More races.
I'll go with the ladies. My girls like the fact that there was more female races, I guess.
Tell you, the one I played, and I only played once, but I remember really enjoying it, was that island expansion.
The Necromancer
Yeah,
Island?
the Necromancer Island, where you played with a whole new race that was way more powerful than all the other ones, and they had like their island in the middle, and they kind of took over the rest of the map. You had to push back against them.
Mm-hmm.
It was a sidestep for the game instead of like a step forward. Definitely not something you want to try every time. It changes the game fundamentally, but a really cool idea. And back when I played, it was kind of hard to get. I think you can just find it now anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That one's neat. Check that out.
Sam, what inspired the double finger point? See you on the flip side, folks.
It's not this.
I don't know. That's what a double finger point. Oh, like that.
Yes.
Cowboys.
Nothing inspired it, I guess. It's just
Sam
something I
inspires
do.
other people.
That's how it works.
Okay, that's how it goes down.
Over the top.
I don't know if we can answer this one as much. Without spoilers, which month of Pandemic Legacy was your favorite? Can we?
Smarge. That lousy Smarge weather.
I don't know.
I feel like if we say that, then people will be like, "Oh, I can't wait till that
no,
month."
let's keep.
That's why I
let's keep
can't
going.
do that.
Yeah.
All right. Without spoiling, and we will not spoil here, what did we think of Star Wars?
I like
We've
it.
all seen it.
That's all you're gonna say? You liked it?
Yeah, I don't want.
We were in the theater, and Z was laughing the whole time.
I really liked it.
No, I liked it a lot too.
I did too, very much.
But there is a point in the movie
I
I wish I had J.J. Abrams' neck in my hand.
But that's not because you dislike the movie.
No,
Okay.
it's not. But I'm just, there was a point.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was very similar to the original trilogy. It was good.
It was really good. I really enjoyed it.
I thought the humor was really good.
Totally looking forward to the next one. Totally.
Yes.
We were talking about it today. How much we wish it would just be now.
Z, how do you find out about all the obscure games you review?
Well, sometimes I don't need to because they, if we are made aware of them because they are sent to us, then I'm obviously made aware that way. But ever since I've been into gaming, I've always liked, I guess, digging a little deeper into those games that maybe folks aren't clicking on too much. I like to go and then look at companies, look at games that they came out with a few years ago, and just sort of kind of wander through the game lists, whether it be on BGG or wherever. I used to go to Bruno Feduti's Ideal Library back in the day, which is now gone. I guess I just like to sort of, wander online, and that's how I'll come across a lot of this stuff. I just dig a little deeper, I guess.
Dig a little deeper. All right. Real Christmas tree or fake?
We have a real Christmas tree in our house.
Do you really? Is this the first year you've done that?
No, we've done it for the last 4 years, I think. We've done that. We usually we weren't able to this year because they ran out of trees, but we usually go to the buy a tree, change a life people at a church that's here in town.
They didn't do that this year?
Well, they did it, but I think they were sold out because this year I heard, I don't know if it's true, they had all of their trees donated to them for free. And so they were selling them at rock bottom prices. And so they sold out really quick, I think, because when we went there, they were already, the tent was still there, but there were no trees. So
it was a trap.
We went
fireworks.
We went to one place that was charging.
That's coming.
We went to one place that was charging $10 a foot for a tree, and so we politely walked away from there.
About a 20-foot tree.
And then we bought ours this year at Home Depot, and we got them at the end of a shipment, and so picked the best tree. They gave it first cheapest price. So I bought an 8-foot tree for $30.
Nice.
So
that is good. Which would have been $80 from the other people.
Exactly.
That's nuts.
For me, all fake, all the time. I can't see any advantage owning a live tree other than the smell. And I can get
fake the smell?
That's the only. That's the only real.
That's the only advantage.
Plus, you don't have to store it.
Okay, there's that, but you have to get rid of it and get it, which I feel is.
Oh, I have a lot of redneck friends that like to burn those in their fire pits around here. So I have no trouble. They come and get it.
It doesn't shed the fake tree. It looks perfect. As there's not. You don't have to. I don't know.
But do you add the smell? Because I think the smell is a big part of it.
Yeah,
I don't add the smell, but I have those candles. I guess I could.
I love that pine smells. What makes it?
Pine smell is nice.
But it getting everywhere and shedding, like you're saying, that's a pain.
All right, I already answered this question last week, but I'll let you guys answer it. What are your thoughts on Pandemic Wars? These are the people who like Twilight Struggle and Terra Mystica making false accounts and rating Pandemic Legacy a 1.
This is actually a thing. We've named it.
Yeah, it's called Pandemic Wars. Dan King and
See, when you got to that point, I was like, ooh, and now I realize it's just a
thing. Yeah,
it's just a
flame war on the net. Dan King and I actually talked about this a little bit in our most recent Dice Steeple, so you can get my full thoughts on that. But I think it is a complete and total misuse of the rating system, and I think that people that do that should be shot, drawn, and quartered.
Okay, so
you have some strong opinions.
You're pretty mild on it then.
I think I feel a little bit more strongly than Sam does.
How is that possible?
No, yeah.
Red button.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous that people feel the need to go create an account and artificially rate a game to artificially influence where it ends up on an ultimately meaningless list. What? You have literally nothing better to do? say, play a game, maybe.
See, the thing
Than
is,
to go in there.
the thing is, there are some people that actually use that list. And so, in essence, what they're doing is they are lying to these people
Right.
that are actually using that list for, I guess, what it's supposed to be or what it was intended.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like, hey, look, these games are good, you know?
Right.
But going through the trouble of making sure that you knock a game down from like number 2 to number 3 or 4.
It doesn't really matter. It's still top 10.
It kind of makes me a little bit sad, I guess, that people feel the need to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a segment that's been discussing insuring games on Board Game Breakfast. Do we have our personal games insured?
No.
I do not.
I don't. I looked into it at one point, but I always figured that if there was a fire, I mean, I need to get renter's insurance anyway. The problem is when I looked into renter's insurance, because we're using this as a business, also it was a convoluted way to, they sent me from one person to the other. It was confusing. But renter's insurance, if my whole board game collection burned up, I would be sad, but I would get over it. I would eventually get some of the ones I got back over time, and I would play new ones. It wouldn't be a devastating loss.
No, it's, I guess ultimately it's not worth it because it's one of those things that can be replaced and it doesn't have to be replaced immediately. It can be replaced over time, so it's not that big of a deal. I mean, I've got homeowners insurance, which would cover, I guess, part of my stuff, the stuff that's inside my house. So,
yeah, but like some of the games are out of print, and they'd be really expensive to rebuy. So let's say I had this insured for the value it was, and then it burned down, and you gave me all that money. I'd be like, who needs to go to college next? I mean, I don't know that I would rebuy them all.
We could just go buy one of Jason's copies, anyways.
Well, not buy it, I'd just slip it out of his collection.
Yeah,
no, he would know. He would know.
You would notice?
He'd be like, what? Empty space.
Oh, no. You put something in the empty space. Come on.
They got like a brick?
Yeah, something like that.
Have you seen Indiana Jones?
Yes.
Okay.
He would notice that one of my 4 copies of this game is missing.
All right, we love Jason. All right. Let's see. If you had your family around for Christmas and they wanted to play Monopoly and nothing you said would make them change their minds, would you play for Christmas spirit?
No.
This is an impossible question because my family wouldn't do that. Even my extended family.
Nor would mine.
I grew up playing other games. I play Monopoly, but
I can't convince my family half the time to play like a Yahtzee style game. Never mind Monopoly. So if they said that they wanted to play Monopoly, I'd be like, "Who are you?"
It's too long.
I would like rewrite the rules.
both
while
my
we're
wife's
playing.
parents and my parents will play pretty much any game that I would bring because I don't bring the really complicated ones. But they like party games. They like this. They like to play party games. But I mean, I can do that. No one demands to play Monopoly.
That's the kind of thing that if we end up playing something, if I end up playing something with the family, it's probably a party game.
All right. Let's see here. I did watch Board Game Breakfast, but what do you think about Zev leaving Z-Man? I think whatever company he gets him is going to be a lucky company.
Yep.
I mean, that's too bad for Z-Man. Maybe they don't need him anymore, but he's going to work for somebody, and that company is going to pick up someone who's really good at finding games. Zev's better than you at finding obscure games.
No, he's not. He's all right.
He's all right. Tom, are you stuck reviewing the kids' games in Scraps? No.
That's cold.
I like reviewing kids' games for a couple reasons. One, they're really easy to play and review.
Sure.
But also, I like playing games with my kids. And Scraps, yes, but I don't mind doing that either because I also review the biggest games. I get the best and the worst. These guys get the middle.
Sounds about right.
You mentioned you'd redo your top 10 of 2005. Any chance of broadcasting it before deletion again? I just never got around to wanting to do that again.
So what was it? We recorded it and lost it?
It was the game from 10 years ago, 2005.
We lost it.
And yeah, I lost
And
it.
it got deleted.
Right.
And we just haven't re-shot it, right?
There was not as much crossover on that list. You can figure out Sam's top 10.
Hey, how do you know?
Just go look at the games that came out in 2005. It's not hard. We might do it, but we're very soon going to be recording our top 10 games from 2006. So
Yeah.
we might do it at some point. We'll probably wait till 2020,
Best games from 11 years ago,
15 years ago.
16 now.
Is that our new thing?
Yeah.
Rate The Force Awakens out of 10. I'll give it a 9. I liked it that much. It wasn't a perfect 10, but I'll give it a 9.
Sure, a 9. Sounds good.
That's pretty high for you, though.
I was actually thinking, I read that beforehand, and I actually thought 9 in my head, yeah.
Well, there you go.
If not for one scene, could have been a 10.
Sam, what's your wife's top 3 games of 2015? Because you know that sort of thing off the top of your head.
Maybe it would probably be one of the new Carcassonne thingies, because her favorite game is
Carcassonne, right?
Yeah, her favorite game is Carcassonne. It's probably one of those. We haven't played Star Wars Carcassonne with her, but I doubt she would like that as much as the other ones. So I would probably say like Over Hill and Dale or Gold Rush, I think is what it's called. One of those guys. That would probably be one of them. She really enjoyed Zombicide Black Plague when we played it with her, but we've only played that once with her. But she really enjoyed it. And I don't know. Ask her. You'll have a chance to.
Well, maybe someday you'll set one of these up at home and do a Q&A. Ogre Skull says, I just played Blood Rage and I think it's a good game, but I don't understand why put all this useless miniatures that do nothing for the gameplay other than raise the price enormously.
Do nothing for the gameplay?
Okay.
Well, it's the same. You can make the same argument for
anything. You could just play with paper.
Okay, I mean, it's the same idea. Why did you guys spend all this money that's going to then cost me more to put unique artwork on these cards? Just give me a blank square and the text of what the card does and charge me only $15 for the game. That's a valid argument. It's because the game is basically a toy. And the prettier that toy is, the more tactile it is, the more pleasing that is. The more you are going to enjoy that time you're spending to, like that time that you are engaging in to decompress, to play, to have fun. And cool miniatures help you do that.
It's like having a whole box of Legos, but they're only one color.
Right. It's the same thing. It's variety is where it's at, Some people don't like miniatures that much, and that's fine. Maybe miniatures aren't the thing that do it for you, and maybe you like really cool wooden components. I love that. I love when a game has unique meeple components that aren't 3D shaped or cool, but, it adds to it.
Can you guys say anything about the Kickstarter rewards for next year? Well, we're not spoiling them yet, although if you go to Board Game Geek and our forums there, I'm posting a picture from one of them each day all the way up to the Kickstarter. But we just put them together today, and I think the promo packs are really good.
Yeah.
The lowest promo pack of promo cards is, we have more custom stuff for us this year than we did last year. So if you liked, for example, Tom Rick from Arcadia Quest and the Dead of Winter promos that were custom made for Dice Tower last year, you'll like the stuff this year. I think.
Yeah.
I'm just... No, maybe I'm biased.
It's exciting stuff. You guys, I think, are gonna like what we're getting.
Have you played Blood Rage with the Kickstarter extras or the 5th player? Did you do that on Saturday? Man, I'll tell you what. We really like Blood Rage, but we didn't play it Saturday, and yet I think it got played like all day long. There was someone playing it at some point.
Several tables going at once.
At one point, I think I saw 3 different games of Blood Rage being played at one time.
Yeah.
And there were multiple groups playing it.
Yeah.
Before and after that, so it was being played all day long.
It really was.
Same thing with Zombicide Black Plague. I ran one game, and I think another guy ran 2.
Yeah. Cool Mini or Not was doing well, but there was also guys playing. Although most of the Eurogamers didn't come. That's because they're too cheap to pay the $15 admission fee.
Wow.
That's
it's the truth.
It's messed up.
It's the truth. All right. Although I did see some guys playing with the 5th player, and I asked them how it was, and they said it was good. But I don't know. I would like to try it.
I do too.
I'm wondering if it drags the game out a little long.
I don't know. I'm not sure what it even adds, but I'd try
It
it.
adds more cards, but they're not like different cards. I think they're like some of the same cards type
Okay.
things. And then at the beginning, there's one of the places on the board's already destroyed.
Yeah.
It isn't now.
So it is longer.
Well, it's going to have to be longer because there's more players. You're adding one more player's worth of
You
actions.
still only play over 3 ages or whatever.
Yeah, it's 25% longer.
Do you draft fewer cards?
I don't think so because they add more cards to the decks.
I really like the game at 4.
I do
So
too.
do I. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's great at 5. I really like
I don't know. Never played
the
it.
balance at 4 players. I really like. So I don't know.
How much homebrew fan-made content do you use? Do you use any?
For what, games?
Yeah, any games.
No.
I have some homemade HeroScape stuff that was sent to me.
And have very.
I've used
I
that.
have some stuff that some people sent me for.
Oh, memoir.
One guy sent me. Yeah, I used the Memoir Raised Hills tiles. That's the guy sent me one time. I use that every time I play Memoir. I have some stuff for Jamaica. Little treasure, like
Chests. Yeah,
little treasure chests that were kind of made out of this.
It's that.
Putty
It's
type
that.
stuff that
What is
hardens.
that?
I don't remember.
FIMO, FIMO?
Yes.
Yes,
Right.
some of that stuff. And I use that whenever I play Jamaica now. And then I also got another thing that is not complete yet, but I've got, he sent me one of, what's the name of the game?
Carcassonne.
No,
So it was a good time.
no, it's the go further in the cavern or come back.
Lost.
Ink and Gold.
Ink and Gold.
Ink and Gold, yes. It's a little
That
treasure
was the
chest.
original title, by the way. Go further in the cavern or come back.
Yes, exactly. But it's a chest that's actually made out of wood that you can flip open and put your stuff into.
That's crazy.
And it has a little table or a shelf that you put it in there while you're still in the cave.
Oh, and if you
And then
actually
if
come
you
out, you pull
just
it.
pull that out and it drops down.
That's too cool.
No, it is cool.
I would totally sneak it though. Yeah, anything that helps me cheat, really, I'll probably use.
Yep.
No, I
Dirty
can count on
Zebras,
my
yeah.
I can count on one hand how many games I've actually used homemade or home brewed, like they said,
Yeah.
stuff to enhance the game.
Right.
He's a purist.
I guess I just don't. I don't know. I'm a sucker for. Like I know you, for example, change a lot of the goods in games like Caverna, things like that.
Oh, I love
for
doing it.
upgraded bits, right?
Oh, I've changed a lot more than that now.
Right.
Power grids totally changed.
See, but what bothers me is that the iconography will no longer match whatever the bit is, however the bit now looks, and that's something that I think hinders me when I'm trying to teach that game. I'd rather keep the game
what if
with
I went
basic
in and-
bits, but really clean design. And
What
look.
if I had an expert graphic designer go in and change all the pictures?
Yeah, who cares? Then if they match, I'm good with that.
All right. That's not going to happen. But
Oh, I thought you were off.
all right, if you pay for a game, if we buy a game, I guess through the mail, and it comes and there's a damaged box, how likely are you to return it?
Depends on how much the damage is.
Mine would have to be like destroyed, damaged, I think. If I have a big dent in the side of the box, I'd keep it.
Yeah, I mean,
I
at
don't
the end of
care.
the game, it's just the storage case for the game. Unless the game itself is damaged, why would you return it?
Like I totally understand this question. I used to be really bad about this stuff.
Really?
Oh yeah. Back when I first started getting into gaming, I would grab that box off the shelf. I would examine it. I would look at every corner.
But why?
And because I've always been that way. Because I've always cared about keeping my things in pristine condition. I don't know why, because it's my thing and I like to care for it,
No,
I guess. You know what I mean?
I get wanting to care for
But
it.
I've gotten, I don't maybe better, I don't know if better is technically the right thing, but I've let that go a little bit. And now the game's dinged up a little bit, I'm good with it. Now, if it's got some serious crush damage, I'm probably going to have a problem with
You
that.
ran over one of your games.
I did, but
Yeah.
who am I going to complain to at that point?
Right.
He cried a lot, though.
I
You
did.
didn't send it back.
Oh, I
then,
was
though,
super
did you?
upset that day. I checked everything. A couple of cards were a little bit damaged. It did really well. That box is
Yeah.
a serious box. And I taped it up. I had to reinforce the corners with tape.
He called off from work.
Put it back on the shelf and just walked away for months. I'm like, I don't want to look at this.
Was that a day that we would not have wanted to talk to you?
probably, but this was a long time ago.
All right, do you guys open your presents on Christmas Eve like smart people, or Christmas morning like the unwashed masses? I'll tell you, this is an easy answer for me. We do stockings on Christmas Eve, and we open the presents Christmas morning. And I'll tell you why I do that, like the unwashed masses, because I want my kids to sleep that night. They will not, if I give them all their gifts at night, it's like, hey, here's your gifts. Isn't that fun? Now go to bed. That's cruel.
Yeah, I get that. Okay.
You got a new toy?
It's kind of fun though.
That's mean. No, I mean, I guess the morning is, if I was going to open anything, I would open it the morning.
Oh, we need to give him a present. The subtext there was, I don't get presents.
I don't really get presents, but if I was going to get anything, I would get it the morning of the, I would open it, when I was a kid, I would open it
We usually do it, we usually open one on Christmas Eve. And then,
who gets to pick the one? That's the question.
I don't know, I think we do it randomly.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest on Christmas morning.
Okay, that's good.
Now I'm sensing that because some of these questions are like referencing things that we talked about 40 minutes ago, we may be behind on the questions.
Just like,
No, I'm just looking for. So now I'm just picking questions that like look.
Speed then with our answering. Here we go. I'm giving you 5-word answers.
Okay, what would you like to see in a Forbidden Stars expansion? That would be fun.
Forbidden Stars. Less plastic.
Shut up.
And shorter playtime.
You're right. Doing 5 words was so much shorter.
It took a long time to come up with those 5 words. And,
I would like to see more races. I want to see more Tau. I want to see the Tau, the Necron.
what was the game?
What would you like to see Forbidden Stars?
who are all these characters? What are you talking about?
Don't worry, this doesn't concern
Forbidden
you.
Stars. At least
I'm
2.
so lost. I'm not a nerd.
At least 2. Because I would say you'd have to come up with at least 2 races, right? The Tau they didn't feel like 40K to me.
I like the Tau, but okay.
I know,
let's say you go to
cool.
normal stuff. Tyranid for sure.
Yeah, NIDs are necessary, and then
Ratman.
I would go with.
Is that a right thing? Did I
would
say
go with
correct?
Sisters of Battle or whatever. Whatever their new.
Brothers of Pain.
Shut up, dude.
Golly, you're such a troll.
I would also like to see more stuff for the existing factions, more technologies, more ways to kind of differentiate. Like let's say, for example, you're playing the Space Marines. The Space Marines currently are Ultramarines.
Yeah.
But like you could use the same figures, but play Dark Angels, and there's just different rules for them.
Isn't Ultramarine a color? Isn't it like a shade of blue?
Don't listen to him. Don't even look at him.
I can't.
Encouraging.
You are such a troll today. All right.
Wait, go back up. There's one I want.
This one?
Yeah. Other than Kings of Israel, do you think Christian theme games are needed in the market?
Well, yes, I'll say that in a second.
Well, yeah.
But are there other good ones besides Kings of Israel?
Yes. Commissioned is one. Talked about it a lot at length. Do a little bit of research. You'll find it. Commissioned is one. Another one is one called Nehemiah that came out last year, but we just got a hold of a copy of it this year. And I really enjoyed that one as well. So those are 2. Look for those.
How do you determine which kids' games you keep? I feel like it might be hard with all your kids to decide which ones they all like. Yeah, I don't. When we play a kids' game, I always assume that we're not keeping it, right? I'll be like, okay, we're getting rid of this. And then I kind of watch their reaction. And if some of the kids are like, no, but it's like 1 or 2, it's gone. But if they, and I can tell when we're playing it though how much they like it.
Right,
I mean,
right.
There are some they play, they're like, oh, it's playing again. Okay, we're probably going to keep that. Although they're on the same thing as me. If we keep a kids game, kids game's leaving. Okay. Do you have to get permission from anyone before doing a review, like is the case in YouTube video game reviews?
Get permission from anyone?
I think the only reason they have to get permission to do a review is if they're including footage
Right.
of the game.
Yeah, you do not have to get permission to just review anything. Like even in a board game, I bought that game. It is my game. We are just showing it off, and there's laws in place where we can review stuff. You don't have to get permission. And if you did, and a company denied permission, that's like shooting yourself in the foot.
Right.
No, I cannot give an introduction to airbrushing. I don't airbrush, and I don't even own an airbrush, so I'm sorry.
That's a good idea for my game room thing. I should have you two do it for Board Game Breakfast.
Do what?
A camera walkthrough of your game rooms.
Oh, okay, sure.
Mine is not anything you really want to look at. What was that other one?
With the exception of Ryan, you don't have a heavy Euro reviewer. Will Jason fill this role? Well, possibly. I mean, he does like the heavy Euro games. Tom's not a camper. What about Z or Sam? Do you guys like camping?
No.
I don't know if they're as opposed to it as I am.
I'll tell you what,
I hate it, though.
I just don't enjoy it. I don't like sleeping outside, and it has nothing to do with anything else, other than the fact that I don't like sleeping outside. I like a lot of the activities that you do while you're camping, but I don't like sleeping outside.
Dice Hate Me, Greater Than Games made a Rodney Smith player card for bottom of the ninth, who got me a double. Is there any chance of Dice Tower promo player cards? Not right now. And now this year is going to be the year of Z and Sam showing up as promos. And I think there's one of me because they did it without asking me. No, I mean, I'm telling companies now that I don't want to be in promos that much. I don't mind being in a few promos and games, but after a while, I want to be able to play the game without like every 3 seconds stopping and saying, "Oh look, there's that person." Greater Than Games, not greater. Dice Hate Me is the worst.
They do it
Every single one of their games, it's like it's Captain Kirkman, and here's Space Jones Kirkman, and here's Batter Kirkman. I mean, they use the same guys all the time, and that always pulls me a little bit out of the game. A promo card is fine, it's fun to use promo cards, but I want that character to have like a little bit of personality and not just be the guy. The worst ones for me are the Will Wheaton Felicia Day ones, because it's never Sir Wheatonius, it's Will Wheaton.
Yes.
That really pulls me out. If you're going to put the guy in a game, then like integrate him so that you have to go, "Oh, that's Will Wheaton," not have it spelled out for you.
Sure.
All right. Is there anything from Cosmic Encounter expansions that you don't use, like tech cards, reward deck, or hazard cards?
I think we shy away from the hazard cards a lot.
I don't like the hazard cards much. Z likes them more than me.
Those are the ones with when you flip the card, it has the glowing corner.
Which is hard to tell.
It's kind of hard to tell, yes. But then what happens after?
Then you flip a card from the hazard deck, which could be bad or good, usually bad.
I like that, fine.
There's the Entropy Beast, which I hate.
Entropy Beast! Yeah, it's like, okay, your game's going to end soon, or else. I don't dislike necessarily any one part of it, but I really don't mix a bunch of that stuff together either. I think when you play Cosmic Encounter, you have to come at it with a light touch and not go, "I own all this stuff, so guess what? It's all going in." Because then you're in for a very interesting game.
I definitely think
Now it's Tom's turn.
this is the gate, so I need to let whoever this is in. Go ahead.
All right. Quiet, you.
Hello?
All right,
That'd be my wife.
let's
Oh,
keep.
yes, that's fine.
Let's favorite Alhambra add-ons. I think my favorite is probably the coins. I really like. Actually, no. My absolute favorite that I always throw in now, even if I'm playing with new players, is the new currency, the diamonds, which is like a fifth currency that works for anything. That's always it. I don't care if I'm teaching somebody brand new. That's such an easy concept that they can get that.
What Ticket to Ride map would you like to see? So part of the world you'd like to see as a Ticket to Ride map?
Russia?
Korea.
I don't know.
Florida.
I don't care that much.
Florida.
Because the great train system down here needs to be...
I would just like to see something that adds a new thing. And by that I mean a new transportation form. Like they did the trains, right? And then the next thing they did was
FaceTime? Yeah, we're not using FaceTime right now. You can keep going.
Anyway, they did trains, and then they did the tunnels where you flip some cards, and then they did ferrying where you had to play a specific number of locomotive cards you were obligated to. I'd like to see a map where they highlight a new form of transportation. I don't know what, but I would like to see that. Maybe the train delays, and you have to like build a train move like from here to here over several turns, where the train is delayed, or you are building the track as you go, or something. I want to see a new form of movement.
Have to be something that you would
I would like to see something on the moon,
have to
maybe.
buy tickets for. I mean, hence the name. Have to be something. I mean,
That would be cool, right? That would work.
you can't just have like driving your car.
Well, they have ships now. Ticket to ride a train, and they have ships, but I guess it's technically doesn't have to be a train.
Ferries?
Yeah, they have the ferries.
I do want to answer this. This person says you guys don't like Will Wheaton. You respect his contributions to hobby, but you don't like him. That's not what I said. I said I don't like to get when they put him in a game, they say Will Wheaton. Just like I wouldn't want someone named called Z Garcia. It just kind of takes you out.
Right.
They should change the name, make it different so that it fits the theme, and it's not, what's the word for that? Anachronistic? Is that right?
Like it breaks the time.
Yeah, it comes at
setting.
Sure.
Yeah, anachronistic.
Yeah, I just don't want that in the game. I don't know Will enough to dislike him. We only know him from his blog and Twitter feed and everything.
I don't know him at all.
I'm not saying anything that we don't dislike him. I'm just saying that I don't like that when... I think they call him Will Wheaton to sell more promos, games.
Maybe.
Which makes sense. It's just, again, it's a little thematically... You look at the card, you're playing some game about magicians, and you look at the card and you go, oh, it's Will Wheaton from his show. That's what you mean.
Yeah, it'd
Kinda
be like if they
breaks
picked
that
any
feeling
famous
of,
actor.
"Ooh, I'm a
Instead of saying
magician."
Brad Pitt, when they make someone in a game, we just played a game remember that I was showing you that game, that Dojo Kun game?
Yes.
And all the people in it had funny names. You're like, oh, that's Hulk Hogan, but it didn't say Hulk Hogan.
Right.
It called it someone else, which kind of kept it in the theme of the game a little bit more.
Right.
Well, folks, that's all the time we have. So, we are going to shut this down. And I know that we skipped about 400 questions, so we'll have to do this one again sometime. But we won't be doing another live one before Christmas, so Merry Christmas to everybody.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And maybe we'll do these more often, we'll see. But thank you guys for asking questions. We will see you all next time. Until then, I'm Tom Vassell.
Z Garcia, thank you, everybody.
Sam Healy.